Alcaraz criticized for forgetting Ferrero. Rafa's former coach reproached Carlos Alcaraz for highlighting Samuel Lopez after the announcement of his professional separation from Juan Carlos Ferrero. Tony Nadal took aim at Carlos Alcaraz following the split with Juan Carlos Ferrero and opened a debate about public acknowledgements in professional tennis. The historic coach questioned why, after announcing the end of his partnership with Ferrero, the Mercian player focused on Samuel Lopez without mentioning in the same breath the 7 years of shared work with the man who was key to his growth. Alcaraz, only 22, is going through a brilliant moment. He has completed the career Grand Slam and is coming off a win against Novak Djokovic in the Australian Open final. Alongside his sporting success, he is also reorganizing his technical team. After his separation from Ferrero was made public, the young Spaniard highlighted Samuel Lopez's role in his messages, which sparked Tony Nadal's reaction. Tony Nadal's reproach and the comparison with Rafael Nadal. On the program Radio Estadio Noche on Onda Cero, Tony Nadal was clear. He valued that Alcaraz acknowledged Lopez, but maintained that Juan Carlos Ferrero's tenure cannot be overlooked. It's very good that he values Samu Lopez, but we must also remember Ferrero and his work over those 7 years, he stated. Rafa Nadal's former coach compared the situation to his personal experience. He indicated that he would not have liked it if, after he stopped working with his nephew, Rafa had only highlighted Carlos Moya. Using that example, he emphasized the importance of acknowledging long processes beyond immediate changes. Support for Alcaraz's talent and an open debate. Beyond the criticism, Tony praised the Spanish number one's potential. He asserted that his ability is extremely high and that only rivals like Jannik Sinner or Alexander Zverev could trouble him. This point revived the discussion about loyalty and recognition within technical teams. In an intense media context following the Australian Open, Tony Nadal's words added a new chapter to the reconfiguration of Carlos Alcaraz's entourage. Carlos Alcaraz reveals the date of his retirement from professional tennis. Spanish tennis player Carlos Alcaraz stated in an interview on El Partidazo de Cope that he does not see himself playing at 35 years old, an age that the three greatest legends of this sport, Rafa Nadal, Roger Federer, and Novak Djokovic, still active, surpassed on court. The Australian Open champion explained that tennis is very demanding mentally and physically. The speed of the ball has increased, the on-court demands, the calendar, characteristics that could affect his career in the long term. He also revealed the advice given to him by Swiss legend Roger Federer. We try to take care of our bodies as much as possible, but as a great wise man, Federer, said, you can't think 15 years ahead, think 5 years ahead, he stated. In this sense, he confessed that he does not believe he will be able to develop his professional career for many years. It's true that at 35 I don't see myself playing. Although maybe the moment will come and I'll still have more enthusiasm than ever and be motivated to keep playing for as long as my body allows, he said. Regarding his conquest in Australia, he admitted that he is happy to have his name among the 4 majors. It was a strange Grand Slam for me. I always came after good pre-seasons, feeling physically very well, tennis-wise very well. And I had never been able to get past the quarterfinals. That gave me more desire, more motivation, more hunger, he explained. He also assured that in this tournament he learned to give value to things. You have to stop for a moment and think about everything we are experiencing, enjoy it and give it value. Achieving the 4 Grand Slams, being the youngest, he said. I hate losing more than I like winning, he added. Do I think the effort for my dream was worth it? And the answer is yes. All the effort I've made has been worth it, he pointed out, before acknowledging how excited he was to see Rafa Nadal at the final in Melbourne. Having Rafa watching, congratulating me and being happy for my triumphs, speaks to the good person he is, he said. Finally, Alcaraz wanted to highlight his second surname, Garcia. I would have loved to carry my mother's surname, but Garcia is complicated to pronounce for foreigners. Obviously, my mother will always have the recognition she deserves, he concluded. Correcha analyzes the role of Alvaro Alcaraz. The former 51-year-old tennis player, now a commentator in different media outlets, is an authoritative voice when it comes to current tennis affairs. Regarding Alcaraz's brother, Correcha highlights that Alvaro already knows Carlos's working methodology. His brother has been part of the team for quite some time now. Within a group, in the end, what Carlos is doing is forming a solid core. He also had it with Juan Carlos, now Juan Carlos is not there, and what he's looking for is for each person to contribute certain things. Specifically, in Correcha's eyes, Alvaro Alcaraz hits with him on many occasions and is also someone who knows him perfectly. He's someone who can help him get the most out of decisive moments, in everyday life. Tennis isn't just about matches, reflects the former world number 2. There are many hours at the hotel, in the room. You might be watching a series, or even if you're watching an opponent's match, your brother might make an observation that you might not feel like analyzing as much yourself, adds Alex Correcha. The Catalan gives his personal opinion on Alvaro's new role. I think it's good. Carlos trusts his brother. Alvaro is a guy who I believe is also prepared. Surely now it shocks us that he's not with Ferrero because the partnership worked and it was beautiful. At a Spanish level, Ferrero is very media friendly, very good, and he has proven to be a great coach, but I'm not worried because I know that what he is now in his team is capable of helping him continue winning, Correcha concludes about Carlitos' new team. Unexpected change for Alcaraz after his victory in Australia. Carlos Alcaraz withdraws from Rotterdam after winning in Australia. Carlos Alcaraz will not be in Rotterdam. After the historic conquest of the Australian Open by defeating Novak Djokovic, the Spaniard has confirmed his withdrawal from the Netherlands next week and will not defend the title he won last year. A decision taken as a result of the intense effort in Melbourne, in order to take a few days of rest with Doha in mind. Carlos Alcaraz will not defend his title in Rotterdam. The Australian Open champion concluded that after the effort of the last 2 weeks, he needs more time before returning to action. We wish Carlos a speedy recovery, explained the tournament organization, which will not feature the most influential tennis player of the moment due to several days in which he has suffered physical problems, dizziness, cramps, and even vomiting. Thus, the Mercian will not have to return to Europe to be in Rotterdam, a tournament that will also be played on indoor hard courts from February 9 to 15. Despite losing 500 ATP ranking points, Alcaraz will remain world number 1 thanks to the cushion he has over Jannik Sinner, specifically 3,350 points, 13,650 compared to 10,300. Carlos Alcaraz's path after pulling out of Rotterdam. With this decision, Carlos Alcaraz would not return until Doha, from February 16 to 21, and would then take on the first American swing of the season with his participation in the Masters 1000 tournaments at Indian Wells, from March 4 to 15, and Miami, from March 18 to 29. In the coming weeks, he would return in April to the clay courts with tournaments in Monte Carlo, Barcelona, Madrid, and Rome. After that would come the second Grand Slam of the year, Roland Garros, from May 24 to June 7, where he will defend the title he won in 2024 and 2025. With Rotterdam, Carlos Alcaraz has preferred to use it as a rest period and arrive in good condition for the upcoming events to continue defending the top spot, which he already holds with authority over the Italian. Carlos Alcaraz has once again made history by being crowned champion of the Australian Open 2026, adding a new Grand Slam to his impressive resume. The Mercian tennis player earned a prize of $4,150,000 Australian dollars, equivalent to €2,440,124. Although the economic prize announced in Australia is notable, what the tennis player actually takes home is different. It should be remembered that Carlos Alcaraz has his tax residence in Spain, which implies that he is obliged to declare in the personal income tax, IRPF, the income obtained both nationally and abroad. With these data, from the gross prize of €2.44 million, the estimated tax withholding would be around €1.1 million. This figure corresponds to the portion allocated to paying taxes in Spain for income earned outside the country. After deducting this withholding, the approximate net gain that Carlos Alcaraz would receive would be about €1.34 million. These figures illustrate how, even in the world of the highest paid sports, the tax impact is an important component to consider, especially when an athlete reaches the level of the great Grand Slam champions.